Carbon return on investment, thermal efficiency, resource allocation, solid-state capital, multi-pathway strategy. Toyota was right. The 1690 mathematical proof. Analysis. Why Tesla fears the 1690 rule. The silent victory. For the last 5 years, the global automotive narrative was controlled by a single, loud ideology. If you were not building fully electric vehicles, you were already dead. Wall Street analysts downgraded Toyota's stock. Tech YouTubers called Akio Toyoda a dinosaur who refused to accept the future. Governments in Europe and California wrote laws specifically designed to ban the internal combustion engine. The message was absolute: go electric or go bankrupt. But in 2025, silence has fallen over the critics. While Ford's electric division reports losses of nearly $100,000 on every single EV they sell, and while Tesla sees its profit margins shrinking due to brutal price wars, Toyota is posting the highest profits in its corporate history. Something happened. The market did not behave as the Silicon Valley futurists predicted. The dinosaur did not die. In fact, it is eating everyone else's lunch. Today, we are not looking at opinions. We are looking at the mathematical formula that allowed Toyota to survive the hype cycle. It is called the 1690 rule. And it proves that for the last half-decade, we have been calculating carbon reduction completely wrong. The raw material reality. To understand the vindication of Toyota, we must first look at the periodic table. The limiting factor of the electric revolution is not demand, it is geology. Lithium, cobalt, and nickel are finite resources. Mining them is slow, dirty, and geopolitically complex. Let's imagine we have a pile of raw-mined lithium, enough to build a battery with a capacity of 100 kilowatt-hours. In the strategy of Tesla or Volkswagen, you take that entire pile of precious material and you put it into one single long-range vehicle. One car. But Toyota's engineers looked at the data differently. They asked, what is the most efficient way to distribute this scarce resource? With that same pile of lithium, instead of building one giant battery, you can build 6 smaller batteries for plug-in hybrid vehicles. Or, and this is the critical number, you can build 90 standard hybrid electric vehicles. This is the ratio, 1:6:90. This is not marketing, this is strict resource allocation. But the critics said, so what? One pure EV is still cleaner than 90 gas-burning hybrids, right? Wrong. And this is where the math gets devastating for the EV purists. The 37x carbon multiplier. Let's run the simulation. Scenario A. You build that one massive electric vehicle. You sell it to one wealthy driver in California. He feels great. He is driving with 0 tailpipe emissions. You have taken one internal combustion car off the road. But what about the other 89 drivers? Because you used all the lithium in one car, those other 89 people are forced to buy standard gasoline cars. They are still burning fuel at 100% capacity. Scenario B, you follow the Toyota rule. You take that lithium, split it up, and build 90 hybrids like the Prius or the Corolla hybrid. You now have 90 drivers who are reducing their fuel consumption by 50%. When you do the carbon math on a fleet level, the result is shocking. The 90 hybrids reduce 37 times more carbon from the atmosphere over their lifetime than the single electric vehicle. Let me repeat that, 37 times. We have been obsessing over making one car perfect while ignoring the opportunity to make 90 cars significantly better. Toyota realized that the goal is not 0 emissions for the rich, the goal is reduced emissions for the masses. This is the difference between virtue signaling and actual industrial strategy. The anti-EV engine revealed, but Toyota did not stop at the battery math. Recently, in a joint announcement with Subaru and Mazda, they unveiled the hardware that will secure their dominance for the next decade. The internet called it the anti-EV engine, but technically, it is something much more dangerous to the competition. These are the new 1.5-liter and 2.0-liter inline-4 engines. The mistake people make is thinking these are just updated versions of old technology. They are not. They are designed specifically to exist in a world dominated by electrification. First, look at the dimensions. These engines are 10 to 20% smaller in volume and significantly shorter in height than current engines. Why does size matter? Because in a hybrid, you need to fit a motor, an inverter, and a battery alongside the engine. By shrinking the combustion block, Toyota allows for better packaging. But the real magic is inside the cylinder. These engines are chasing a metric called thermal efficiency. A standard gas engine is terrible. It wastes about 60% of the energy in gasoline as heat and noise. It only uses 40% to move the wheels. Toyota's new architecture is designed to function primarily as a generator. In a traditional car, the engine has to do everything. Idle at traffic lights, accelerate hard on the highway, and crawl in the city. This variation destroys efficiency. In the new Toyota system, the electric motor handles the stop-and-go traffic and the hard acceleration. The combustion engine simply turns on, runs at its absolute sweet spot, the exact RPM where it is most efficient, charges the battery, and then turns off. They are approaching 50% thermal efficiency. For context, a Formula One engine, the pinnacle of human engineering, hovers around 50%. Toyota is bringing F1-level thermodynamics to a car you can buy for $30,000. The physics of the hood. There is another advantage to these small engines that almost no one is talking about. It is aerodynamics. Because the engine block is physically shorter, the hood of the car can be lowered by nearly 10 centimeters. In the age of efficiency, air is the enemy. Every millimeter you lower the front of the car, you reduce the drag coefficient. Lower drag means you need less energy to push the car through the highway. Less energy means you can use a smaller battery to get the same range. A smaller battery means the car is lighter and cheaper to build. It is a virtuous cycle. Compare this to the current crop of electric SUVs. They are heavy, tall, and brick-shaped because they are sitting on top of massive battery skateboards. Toyota is using the compact size of the new engine to create cars that slice through the air, further validating their small battery strategy. The financial fortress. Finally, we must look at the bank account. Because this is where the war is truly won. Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid are fighting a war of cash burn. They are spending billions to build new factories, secure new mines, and train new workers. They are learning how to build cars from scratch. Toyota? Toyota paid for their hybrid tooling 15 years ago. The factories that build the Prius engines are fully amortized. The research and development costs were paid off in 2010. Every hybrid Toyota sells today is almost pure profit margin. They are using this massive cash pile to fund the next stage, solid-state batteries. While others are struggling to survive today's market, Toyota is using the profits from the 1.690 rule to fund the technology of 2028. They are not late, they are waiting. They are waiting for the solid-state technology to mature while they print money with hybrids. The tortoise and the hare. The story of the last 5 years was the story of the tortoise and the hare. Tesla was the hare, fast, flashy, and capturing all the attention. Toyota was the tortoise, slow, methodical, and carrying the heavy shell of legacy. But in manufacturing, speed can be a trap. The 1.690 rule proves that Toyota's hesitation was not fear. It was calculation. They understood that the path to a green future is not about selling luxury EVs to the 1%. It is about systematically upgrading the 99% with hybrid technology that makes mathematical and economic sense. Akio Toyoda was the only CEO brave enough to say wait when the world screamed go. And now the data has vindicated him. The internal combustion engine is not dead. It has just found a new job as the world's most efficient generator for the electric age. My name is the host of Auto del Domani. We analyze the engineering reality behind the headlines. If you want to understand the market before the rest of the world catches up, subscribe to the channel. Class dismissed.